An eventful Friday night SmackDown has just concluded, and of course there's so much news to talk about. This is SmackDown! Things you might have missed. And before we get started, if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and if you'll take the time, hit the like button. It really does help these videos out. Oh boy. Goldberg is back. Let me try and do it really hyped. Ready? Goldberg is back, and he challenged Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. No one cares. Oh, I'm sorry. Why? Goldberg, Reigns, Elimination Chamber for the Universal Championship. Okay, this is, though, reportedly Goldberg's last match. And no, we will never forget what happened in Saudi Arabia at Super Showdown with The Fiend. And yes, I'm bitter. Yes, I'm still angry. It happened. But before Goldberg returned, we had a great promo from Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman explaining his actions, explaining why he turned on Brock Lesnar, explaining that he saw the light and that Roman Reigns lent him the hand of acknowledgement and allowed him to come back into the bloodline. Makes perfect sense, but did anyone else catch Jimmy Uso literally trying not to laugh throughout this promo? I thought that was quite funny. I did, though, catch one thing, and that's obviously the fact that Paul's obviously talking to Roman and bigging up Roman. He mentioned how Roman didn't need to be protected from Brock, but instead Brock needed to be protected from Roman. Is it possible? Is it possible Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns and rejoins Brock Lesnar? Is that a possibility for WrestleMania? Another swerve, perhaps? Can I just add, these WrestleMania graphics. Oh my god, that looks amazing. I love that. There's been a lot of reports online that the match for WrestleMania, that Vince is leaning towards title versus title. So if Brock can win the WWE title at the Elimination Chamber, and if Goldberg doesn't do what Goldberg usually does, just imagine if Goldberg actually defeated Roman Reigns. Oh boy. Then this epic clash will be title for title. What do you think of that? In probably the biggest wrestling news of the year so far, Shane McMahon was reportedly let go by WWE. Apparently Vince McMahon was left with no choice but to fire Shane McMahon. Now, I am not a journalist, I'm not a specialist, but when was the last time Shane McMahon was under WWE contract? I have no idea, and it's probably been a lot of years. Anything is possible in the world of wrestling. I won't rule out Shane McMahon going to AEW, I never would. But he could have gone in November, he could have gone in December. So, just bear that in mind. We found out Ronda Rousey has challenged Charlotte Flair to the match at WrestleMania, as rumoured by the dirt sheets. But I do have to question WWE literally setting up a match between Charlotte and Sasha for Mania. Surely you're going to annoy a lot of fans doing that, sort of dangling the carrot and then taking it away again. I don't know if people will like that. Of course, Ronda did get physical with Sonya Deville. Always fun to see Sonya Deville get beaten up. But she was wearing the jacket. Bear that in mind for future reference. And the killer line from Charlotte Flair saying, "This is my baby." Obviously the SmackDown Women's Championship. "And my baby is prettier than yours." Oh boy. Things just got bitchy, right? We got a Xia Li appearance on SmackDown. Oh my god, I was so happy to see Xia. But then, Pat McAfee referenced the guy in the background. Pat, that's my gimmick. That's what I do. As long as it's not a puppet, I will allow it. You start shouting puppet watch, we got issues. Rick Boogs' guitar did not work. A massive technical glitch on SmackDown. But you know what? Hats off to Rick Boogs. Look for the positive. He was able to continue and make the segment still fun and still normal. So hats off to him. I never knew how much I needed to see Pat McAfee wearing Sheamus's ring attire. I think this should be a new thing. Every time someone leaves their ring attire ringside, Pat McAfee should wear it. But we did get a nice little singles victory tonight for Ricochet as he defeated Ridge Holland. Of course, that then turned into a tag team match. I've got no idea why. We came back from commercial break and it was a tag match. Please, WWE, just tell us how it transitioned to a tag match. I beg you. Why? Ricochet won. What's the point? Please, that kind of silliness. We don't need it. You don't need to do it. You're better than that. But one thing I've noticed now, I've done it a couple of times, is Ricochet trying to lift Sheamus. It's the same spot where Sheamus always counters. And I wonder if this feud ends when Ricochet is able to deliver whatever this move is meant to be. Bear that in mind as you watch future matches, because they'll continue them, let's not lie. But we got to give credit to Ridge Holland, as he was able to pounce Ricochet into the ring ropes, bouncing him back to the outside of the ring. It looked violent. And yes, typical WWE 50-50 booking, as Ridge and Sheamus were victorious. We found out Sami Zayn gets his championship match in 2 weeks on SmackDown, so that's something to look forward to. And of course, if you missed it, Sami Zayn was escorted out of the Jackass premiere, and they did tease it tonight on SmackDown. They teased inviting Johnny Knoxville to Sami Zayn's Intercontinental title match, so that could be very fun. We also found out next week, Naomi will get a SmackDown Women's title match versus Charlotte Flair. That's gonna be good. Now, the New Day versus Los Lotharios was a great tag team match, but notice on both graphics, they don't call them the New Day. It's Kofi, Kingston, and Big E. This is how they were introduced as well. Now, there's all the news flying around that Big E is no longer a single star. He's been chucked back to the New Day. My first thoughts, I don't mind. I love the New Day, so I can't really complain too much about that. Honestly, New Day are one of my favourite tag teams ever, so I'm quite pleased they're back together. And we would have missed out on an opportunity of having the New Day try to make referee Rudy Charles dance. Unsuccessfully, but it was funny nonetheless. And I wonder if not calling them the New Day holds that carrot that maybe Big E could break out again. Aliyah was in the original Breaking Ground. How old is that? I remember watching that. Oh my god, I completely forgot she was in that. But of course, Aliyah was in action again tonight, again defeating Natalya. And yes, WWE wanted to remind you that Aliyah holds the fastest victory in WWE history. And if she stuck her middle fingers up right now, she'd even have the pose. Just do it. Just call her Stone Cold Aliyah Austin. I'm all for it. Let's start a petition. Now, we're going to continue this, but WWE 2K22 again advertised on SmackDown. And yes, that is Drew Gulak. He's in the game. And he was on SmackDown this week. I'll tell you what, it's a really good week if you're a Drew Gulak stan, I'm telling you. He's been everywhere. But the bigger news is so is the WWE Thunderdome. This was revealed on YouTube by 2K. I love the fact they've included the Thunderdome. We can't just ignore this moment in history. And a lot of people did want to know if it was going to be included. Well, the answer is yes, the Thunderdome is back. But let me just touch on this. Drew Gulak approached Shotzi Blackheart. Why? Are they going to form some kind of management thing? Is Drew Gulak potentially going to manage Shotzi Blackheart? I'd be all down for that. That would be kind of cool. Drew's been credited for doing a lot of backstage training, so yeah, let's run with it, WWE. Now, obviously, the new Fiend and Alexa Bliss Ultimate Edition figures are dominating the Ringside Collectibles top 10 this week. Alexa Bliss number 1, the Fiend Ultimate number 7, the Burnt Fiend number 2. The combo deal's also at number 4, but interestingly, Wrestling Trader in the UK are reporting that Ultimate Edition Alexa Bliss could be their biggest selling figure to date. Oh my god, that's massive for Alexa Bliss. Drew McIntyre returned to SmackDown after he returned at the Royal Rumble, and it was a nice promo from Drew, talking about how he basically wasn't expected to be back from Mania. He trained, he got himself back, and yes, he caught Riddick Moss, Madcap Moss, before he went to attack Drew McIntyre, and he made him tell him a joke. It wasn't a funny joke, I won't repeat it for obvious reasons, but it was a Claymore kick that sent Riddick Moss packing, and we got the news that Drew McIntyre will face Madcap Moss at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Now you're hyped, aren't you? I'll give SmackDown a 6.5 this week. It's one of the lower ratings, but honestly, it was okay. It wasn't a bad show. But let me know your thoughts and your score in the comments down below. Follow me on Twitter at CWrestlingUK. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you as always next time. Peace!